What's going on, everybody? YL from RebelEars.com here again with another episode of YL's Weekly Recap. As you can see, I'm in the studio right now. We having a vibe. I'm waiting on an artist to pull up. So I said, hey, why don't I give y'all something different? Give you guys a weekly recap in the studio as I'm waiting on my session. Today is Friday. This is finishing up my weekly recap. This is finishing up my week. It is 9 o'clock p.m. We'll be in here till 2 a.m. So let's jump into my week real quick because I did a lot this week that kind of adds all the way up to today. Alright. So early on in the week, this was a really busy week for me. Like I told you guys, September, October, November, December is really busy for me. So earlier in the week, I ended up going to the Carter Center. So if anybody knows anything about President Jimmy Carter, he is from Georgia. He has his own museum, library, and just his whole compound. It's called the Carter Center. A lot of out-of-town people come in, but so every now and then I do things for the Carter Center as far as doing audio. The company that hires me to come and do audio for them has the contract with the Carter Center. I also did Rosalind Carter's funeral. If anybody aware of Rosalind Carter, that is Jimmy Carter's wife, ex-president, former president Jimmy Carter's wife. I actually worked her funeral and the whole memorial that whole week. It was a long week, and we did some things at the Carter Center, and then we actually did the actual funeral at the church. I was actually on Channel 2 News. I was on TV moving a microphone in the middle of the funeral. So if you aware of that, so that's where I was this week, early off in the week at the Carter Center, knocking that out. I had a quick audio setup. They had me with a QSC Touch, which I'm really not a fan of, but it was dope that I did have an actual iPad that gave me the real deal, you know, a bigger touch screen that I can actually touch. The QSC Touch is a cool console, really little, compact. It's cool for what it is, I guess. It is okay. But like I said before, the touch part of it, the screen is so little. If you got fat fingers and stuff like me, it's hard for you to really touch faders on the little tiny little console. So I did some audio for that. That was cool. It was Jimmy Carter's 100th birthday celebration. Jimmy Carter is still living. Last thing we heard was he was in hospice. I'm not sure how he's doing, but he is still living, and he is 100 years old, man. That is amazing. I think his wife lived to be 97, 98, right? So they had a very full, eventful life. If you're not familiar with President Jimmy Carter and his wife, go do some research. It's always an honor to go in and do some presidential events, especially when the Secret Service and other former presidents and first ladies are involved. So that was first thing of the week. Second thing of the week, I ended up doing a small presentation, really intimate presentation for UAB, University of Alabama. So anybody who's familiar with colleges, the college UAB came to Atlanta to do some recruiting and to try to get some of these teenagers to go to their college. So I did a small, intimate lunch or brunch presentation for them. Really easy, really simple, really small, pull down screen with a projector, and then of course I had my audio set up, just a podium mic. That's all it was. Really quick, easy event. I enjoyed doing it. I like doing the intimate events because when I'm at work, I'm a people's person. Alright, so it's just good to do those smaller events because usually people are a lot happier, people are a lot more calm. It's not a lot of chaos going on. It's not a lot of moving parts to the show. It's just cut and dry. Everyone's happy to see you. They're just glad that you're there. It's really simple. Alright, so after that, fast forward until yesterday and today, I was actually at a Congress Center or Convention Center in Atlanta, and I had to do a breakout room. So I actually have a 18 minutes, about 18 minutes long, maybe about 15 after I do some editing. But it's actually a full tutorial video. I kind of just dive into my setup, show you guys what I also do outside of audio. So this particular room was huge. It held about 200 people. For a breakout room, that's pretty big. It's not big for like a regular general session big show, but for at the actual breakout rooms where they break out into these little small meetings, that is pretty much the larger size breakouts. I did have the larger room out of the rest of the techs. Of course, you know, I'm trusted to handle business, so they gave me the largest room. I manned that room by myself. I had 2 screens, 2 projectors. I had a TV down by the stage so the presenters can see their PowerPoint on the TV as they're presenting. I had a video switcher, a Roland V60, which is a big dog video switcher. Of course, they get way bigger and brighter and better, but the V60 is definitely a big dog for any breakout rooms. So I had the video switcher, I had my monitor, and then of course I had my 1602 PreSonus Studio Live. Not really a fan of the PreSonus Studio Live, but like I always say, that is the very first audio console that I learned live sound on. Alright, I learned how to do monitors at SAE almost 10 years ago on that same console, and I saw it this weekend twice. Right, so how ironic is that? You never see those in the field. Really outdated console, but one thing about it, it's audio. If it works, it works. If you are a good engineer, you are a good audio tech, live sound mixing, a live mixing engineer, then you can use whatever console you need to use as long as you got your graphic EQ and a couple bells and whistles on that console. So pretty much, man, like I said, biggest room. It was smooth. I had 2 speakers at the stage on each side of the stage, so 4 speakers total. I did not do my outfields where I usually spread my speakers out wide and then put 2 at the stage. I put all 4 of them and did clusters at the stage and just pointed them out to where I wanted them to hit in the crowd. And it just gave me a better full sound when you spread those speakers out like that across the room. Sometimes you just open up too much air for the sound to just continue to bounce back. And the room that I was in in particular has a really bad echo. A lot of these convention centers, congress centers, they spend all of this money, but you gotta understand that these are concrete buildings, huge concrete steel buildings. All right, so it's gonna be a lot of reverb and a lot of bouncing off walls and a lot of echoes going on when you are dealing with these different rooms in these different congress centers and convention centers. It's a little soundproof, but not really, because everything around it is concrete and brick and steel, right? So that was cool. I made it sound amazing, of course. I only had 2 shows today. So I got to work at 8 o'clock this morning today. Yesterday, I set everything up. I actually set the whole room up by myself. I had a couple people help me build the screens. Everything else in the room, from all of the cables, all of the fixtures, all of the mics, all of the speakers, all of everything, I set up myself, I plugged in myself, I programmed myself, all by myself. You know, I like to say I'm him when I'm at work. You dig? But yeah, so it was really exciting just, you know, just to get in there, and I'm always looking for opportunities to show different companies why they should continue to book me and pay me what I'm asking for, because I'm that good. But today, got in at 8 o'clock, did a quick rundown on my room this morning, readjusted my projectors, making sure my images were clean and smooth and focused really well, and it took up the whole entire screen. Checked my video switcher, make sure my still image was still there. Got my laptop, crunk up both my laptops, got my music going, make sure my speakers were still good, tested my microphones all over again, checked my microphone frequencies all over again. That's the thing about setting up the day before. When you come in the next day, right before the show, you probably come in about 2 hours or so before everything kicks off. Those 2 hours are for you to make sure that everything is as perfect as it was when you left the day before. Everything, we like to call it being 100%. When I'm at 100%, that means there's nothing else for me to do but to start the show. Literally, there's nothing else for me to do. When I'm at 100%, I am waiting on whoever it is to kick this show off and we can get going. So I had 2 shows this morning. Lunch was cool. We always eat a catered lunch, whether it's a hotel caterers, whether it's private caterers, whether, you know, a lot of venues have built-in catering teams and catering companies. So we always get fed when we work shows. Lunch was cool. Knocked out 2 shows. Broke that down. Today was actually a 11-hour day at work. I thought it was gonna be a 12-hour day, but we got out of there an hour early. And yeah, man, 11 hours. I went home. That's the only reason I was actually able to go home. I was not gonna go home. I was gonna pull up to the studio in my work clothes that I've been working in all day long, in my nice shoes that are uncomfortable a little bit, but I wear my comfortable shoes when I got to do a lot of walking and setting up. And then when on show day, we actually dress nice. We wear button downs, we wear slacks, we wear you know, casual shoes. We look nice. On show day when it's time to actually run the show. The way you look is really, really important. So I did all of that. I was able to get home. I was at home for maybe an hour, took a shower. My wife made me something to eat. I packed it up and I am at the studio right now. I got off at 7 o'clock. It is 9:17. Alright, so just like that, I'm about to knock out a 5-hour session. So it's a 16-hour day for me. And I just decided to go ahead, since I got some time, to give you guys a weekly recap, because starting Sunday is going to be another exciting week. Tomorrow I'm off work. I got a football game to coach. I'm going to spend some time with family, kick it with my children and my wife tomorrow. And then Sunday I'm right back to it. So I'll have another exciting recap for you guys next Sunday. If you guys really enjoy these recaps, please let me know. Let me know if you need more. Let me know if you want me to go into detail. Let me know if you really want me to start diving into certain events and showing more light on what I do and more things in the background and behind the scenes on what I do. Like I said before, the only point of this is to inspire you all. I only want to show you guys that this lifestyle is possible. 4 kids and a wife, and all I do is audio. Alright, it's a lot of guys out here that are not living that lifestyle, but I am here to tell you that it is possible. I met so many engineers and so many live sound guys and so many guys that's in the industry that's kind of got fed up with the inconsistency and the different things and the different changes that's always happening in the industry, to where I see guys leave the live sound in the studio industry all the time, man. I see it all the time. So I'm here to tell you to be inspired. I'm not going anywhere. My career is only growing. Sometimes you have to take an alternate route. When I went to SAE, I was going straight for studio. That's all I knew. That's all I cared about. I took an alternate route, got into live sound. I'm still able to do my studio sessions. As y'all can see, I'm still mixing on a regular basis. You know, and I'm still going out here and I'm actually running live sound. So, like I said before, always be inspired. I appreciate y'all for tuning in every single week. This has been another episode of YL's Weekly Recap. And until next time, refuse to sound ordinary.